welcome to another episode of the Good Guys Podcast. My name is Brandon Dixon. I am a humble father of four, and as always, I am joined by none other than the Honorable, the Reverend Joshua Ezzy.
What's good, BD? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. It's another day. It's another pod. We got the first episode out of the way, and I'm ready to roll. I am ready to roll. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm feeling real good, man. Excited. Just got back from Imaginon with the family, man. Did little things together, man. So it was good, man. I'm ready to get to it. You doing good, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I was actually off work today, so I had a nice relaxing day, got up, ate some food, took that second nap, which is ever so pleasant. There's nothing like that second nap.
Naps bridge the gaps.
Oh, yeah.
Naps do it, man. Naps is probably one of my top 3 favorite things to do in all of life. Top 3. I mean, think about it. Is naps not top 5 at least for you?
They're definitely up there. And what I've learned in my older age, JE, is that you don't need necessarily like a whole 3-4 hours. Like, if you can get it, that's great.
20 minutes.
But if you can get a good 25-30 minute power nap in, it's a game changer.
Man, you're a new creature.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, awesome. Well, good to hear. Good to hear you're in good spirits. Thank you all for joining us here on the Good Guys Podcast. Happy to be back here for another episode. If you could, all right, hit that. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, okay? Give us a like, smash that like button, and hop in the comments. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know any topics that you want us to discuss here on the Good Guys Podcast. All of those things will help us grow. We'd certainly appreciate the community that is still there. It's been amazing to see you guys in the comments. Some of the people from last time we were doing the podcast, I was able to see some of you guys comment, and it was amazing. So we appreciate you guys for still rocking with us. But if you can, smash that like button, share the podcast on different social media platforms so we can continue to grow the Good Guys Podcast. We want to continue to keep bringing you guys content that's clean, you can listen to around your family, that's, got some humor there, but also a little bit of substance as well. So help us continue to grow the podcast so we can continue to bring that to you. If we don't get the numbers, guys, I'm going to be here, but it's entirely possible that JE could quit. So make sure that you guys, continue to grow the podcast with us.
See,
and we'll go ahead and get started.
No. Pause real second on there. See, I'm too legit to quit.
Okay. A little MC Hammer there.
Yeah.
That's how you feeling today?
Yep. Hammer time.
All right. That's what's up. Okay. Enough of that. We're going to go ahead and get this podcast started. We've got a great episode for you guys here today, and we're going to get started as we typically do with the weekly airing of grievances. And JE, I've got one today.
Yeah.
That I'm really passionate about this one. So I'm going to ask that you give me the
Take your time.
Yeah. Let me get the required runway that I need to flesh out my thoughts here. So last week was the 4th of July, as I'm sure all of you know. And so, I was at a cookout, family cookout, and, hey, I'm having a good time, enjoying family, enjoying fellowship. I got my plate, with all the, traditional, food that you would get at a cookout. I had my plate loaded, had the hot dog, I had the burger, some baked beans, potato salad, the usual, right? So I take my plate, I sit down and I start eating my plate of food, JE. And, the first thing I go for, listen, we'll start light. I'll grab the hot dog, right?
Okay.
I go for the hot dog and I start to take it down. And out of nowhere, one of my little cousins runs up and is just like, B, What are you doing? You're just going to take down that glizzy all out in the open with no shame?
That's right.
And, it kind of threw me off, J.E., and I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't necessarily proud of my response. I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of I sat there. You know how you sit in the chairs and you put your knees together so the plate can sit on your knees. I got my cutlery, got my knife and my fork, and I cut up the hot dog and started eating it with a fork. Because I just felt like that was the right thing to do in that situation, being that, like the way he called me out, I didn't feel comfortable. And later on, as I kind of thought back on that incident, J.E., I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel good about it at all. Mm-hmm. And you know why? Because I just feel like this generation, the X, Y, Z, whatever they're called, mm-hmm. I feel like they don't have an appreciation for the hot dog like we have as millennials and maybe even the generations that came before us. And I don't think it's right, J.E. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. The first of which, I think these generations behind us are spoiled. That's number one. When it comes to their eating habits, even when it comes to like eating out, I ask my kids, hey, what do you guys want to eat? Oh, I'll have Five Guys. Oh, I'll have Wingstop. Do you know how much Five Guys burger cost?
Wow.
Do you know how much Wingstop costs nowadays? It's not cheap anymore. Mm-mm. They want these expensive food options. Let's get some Japanese. Japanese?
Man, I don't think I had Japanese till I was late 20s.
Yeah. We're almost in college before I ever had Japanese in my life. You know what we got? When we first and foremost, what we got, what was at the house. That's what you ate.
Exactly.
But if you got the opportunity to eat out, you know what we were getting, J.E.? We were getting McDonald's. Okay.
Wow, you was getting that?
McDonald's. Or maybe if you read a couple books, you got the Book It. The Book It personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. That might be what you got if you got to eat out, and we were grateful for that, J.E.
We were.
We didn't get these fancy food options. But you know what we got more often than any of that? What was at the house. And do you know what was at the house more often than not, J.E.?
What was that, BD?
Hot dogs, glizzies, whatever you want to call it. And you can say what you will, J.E. I'm sure you'll say, oh, BD, you grew up upper middle class. And that may be true to some extent. But you know what was there for me, J.E., on those in the summertime when your parents didn't put you.
You are so privileged. You had hot dogs only during the summer?
No, I had them year round, but I'm giving example. Can you let me cook, J.E.?
Go ahead and cook.
During the summertime, when your parents probably should have put you in summer camp, but they left you at home in an age that probably wasn't appropriate at that time, and they just told you to lock both of the locks and not open the door no matter what. In those summer times when your stomach was rumbling, you know what got you through? Hot dogs. Okay? 2 hot dogs. Put them in throw them in the oven, put them on broil. They got the job done, J.E. When we graduated from college, you got that Saturday afternoon, just got done hooping, stomach's rumbling, trying to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of the day. You didn't have money. You were broke. But you know what was there for us, J.E.? Mm-hmm. Hot dogs. Gas station. 2 for $2.
Man.
Yes, I'll have the chili. Yes, I'll have the cheese.
Yep.
Okay? I'm going to pay for it later, but we're not worried about that now, J.E. We're talking about survival.
Survival.
And the hot dogs allowed us to survive. The hot dog, the glizzy, was there for us. And I don't think this younger generation has that level of appreciation. So I'm here to say, J.E., in the presence of you and all of our loyal fans and listeners, it is time to stop the glizzy shaming. Okay? Free the glizzy. A man should be able to partake in a glizzy in broad daylight with no shame and no embarrassment. Okay? We got to stop this. I am very comfortable. I am a heterosexual man, and I'm very comfortable in that. Okay? So the next time I'm at a cookout, and it's just probably going to be, probably in a couple weeks. My birthday's coming up, July 22nd. Probably have another cookout. And you know what I'm going to do at that cookout, J.E.? Mm-hmm. I'm going to get my plate. Yes. I'm going to put one hot dog on that plate. One singular hot dog. I'm going to get my plate and I'm going to walk into the middle of where everyone is standing, J.E. I'm going to pick up that hot dog.
Yes.
And I'm going to partake of it.
Yep.
And it may not be a pretty sight, J.E. There may be some chili, some coleslaw all up in here. All right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm going to stand there with my back straight as an arrow and with my chest puffed out. And I'm going to partake of that glizzy. It's time to stop the glizzy shaming, J.E. I need to know what your thoughts are on this. I need you to back me on this, quite frankly, because if you don't, then I'm probably going to be out here in these internet streets sounding crazy.
Nah.
But J.E.
Nah. Yes.
What are your thoughts on the glizzy?
I'm getting shirts made. Hashtag free the glizzies.
Free the glizzy.
These kids don't understand, like, everything doesn't have to be gay. They made the hot dog in a way to be eaten a particular way. That's just how it is. Listen,
just how it is.
One thing about me, man, I am unashamed about how I eat my hot dogs. Unashamed. I don't care how it looks. I don't care how deep the bite is. I don't care. I'm eating that hot dog. And I'm not cutting no hot dog up, man. I look even more crazy submitting myself or succumbing to adolescence. Succumbing to people who haven't struggled. Back to what you said, BD, is so profound. These kids, they don't understand how far and how long the glizzy has gotten us. Many nights, beanies and weenies.
Oh,
the name of that is wild too. I understand that, but beanies and weenies got me through.
We haven't even gotten into the different variations of hot dogs.
There's
dishes.
Hot dogs might be one of the top 5 diversible, if that's a word.
Diversifiable. Yep.
Thank you. Diversifiable. He graduated college. I didn't. Diversifiable ways of eating the glizzy. You could chop them up and put them in beans. So much you can do with the hot dog, man. And I just think it's time for this younger generation to appreciate the hot dog. Because the hot dog, no matter how bad it is for your health, emotionally, it settled you.
Grounded you.
It grounded you. It let you know. Listen, sometimes I just get a hot dog just to say, hey, stay grounded, Josh. No, Josh, don't let this new thing you got going on, your money you're making, don't let that get to your head.
Sometimes take it back.
Get you a hot dog. Eat that hot dog. Enjoy the hot dog. Man, I had some of the best hot dogs recently, man. It was the jumbo hot dogs, and I know I looked crazy. But at the same time,
jumbo glizzy.
Yeah, jumbo glizzies. Listen, man, juicy, good. I mean, I put that chili on that thing, man. That glizzy did me better than any other glizzy I ever had in my life. Hey, I'm not lying. I'm just saying. Hey.
Oh, wow. We're out of pocket to start this podcast.
No. I'm being honest. I actually care about freeing the glizzies, man, because these young people, they just need to really just take back, look at the hot dog and say, man, put some chili on it. Put whatever toppings on it.
That thing.
Man, bro, I didn't realize, see, when I was eating hot dogs on a regular, there was no different types of hot dog buns. Oh. Bro, these new hot dog buns,
Yeah,
Takes
man.
the glizzy up here. Back in the day, it was those, regular. I've never seen 6 different hot dog buns.
Yeah, they got the
Man,
Hawaiian joints now. They got the joints where they slit in the middle and you put the
that one
man.
right there and the Hawaiian roll one. Hey
Whew,
man,
it's another
we gotta
level.
show some respect and give it up for the Hawaiian rolls, man. I appreciate seeing companies diversify themselves. I love seeing companies say, "Hey, I am not just a roll." I will put Hawaiian roll aspects to every bread thing in the grocery store. I see Hawaiian rolls, slices of bread. Hawaiian rolls is up there competing with the brioche.
Whatever they're doing to that Hawaiian bread should be standardized. It should be standard
Yes,
across the board when it
it
comes
should
to
be.
bread.
It
I don't
should
know
be.
what they're putting in there. I don't know what's giving it that hint of sweet, but that needs to be that should just be standardized. That should just be normal. Whatever
Is
bread you're making, put whatever that is in there.
is the Hawaiian roll, was it invented in Hawaii? Because when they say French fries, was French fries invented in France?
These are the questions, Je. These
These
are
are
the
the
questions.
questions
I
because
don't
the
know.
Hawaiians, the what you call them people, the Hawaiians. My apologies if that don't sound, if that ain't what they call you in Hawaii. Samoans?
Pretty sure it is. No,
Oh,
Hawaiian.
Hawaiians. All right,
Yeah,
Hawaiians.
I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. Let
Man,
us know
that's
if
one
we're
of the
wrong, guys.
yeah. If we wrote, that's one of the major contributions you ever did to society was the Hawaiian roll. The Hawaiian roll is so good by itself, but imagine having a glizzy between it.
Nothing like it.
Man, especially when the bun is soft and the hot dog is just hot and juicy. Nothing better. There's not too much better than a good hot dog, man. Hot dogs is probably top 10 in a lot of millennials and older people's, food options. It's probably top 5 handheld like sandwiches, that category. It's definitely top 5.
Hot dogs get there, and they're very versatile. There's a lot you can do with hot dogs. You look at these places nowadays, some of these food trucks and stuff, they're getting creative with these hot dogs.
As they
They've got
should.
all kinds of stuff.
That's why,
So,
honestly, I'm not even upset with the generation end of the alphabets. Because they don't got to be in the lines when I'm in the lines. Man, you know what? The next time, I promise, because my nephew does this. I'm at the house, ready. I hear we got hot dogs today. I get excited. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm getting it in. No shame in my game.
100%.
I get to the house, you know what I'm saying? I get my plate usually first because my nephew be in there gaming. See, when they're gaming, they're distracted. The food's been done for 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
See?
I don't even mind because I'm like, bro, that means I'm gonna get my plate in the half before you get your first plate. He's probably 6'6" now. He's getting older, so he's eating a lot of food now. This
Yeah.
guy has the nerve. While I'm sitting down there eating my glizzy in peace, he gives me one of the craziest looks as if I'm no longer Uncle Josh, as if like I'm no longer worthy to. He just looked at me and shook his head and just kept walking. I said, "Oh, so you gonna shake your head and keep walking as if I'm doing something?" I be telling my nephew, I said, "Man, go on get you a glizzy in you. Go on get you one. Eat you a glizzy, man." This man stopped eating glizzies as soon as he turned like 15. I'm like, fam, don't let your peers cause the glizzy to disappear. No, man. Eat that glizzy in their face. Let them laugh because you're eating good. Hey man, ain't nothing I could do about it, man. I'm freeing the glizzies. Listen, I'm challenging all my good guys out there. Ladies,
That's right.
yeah, ladies too, because y'all be looking crazy too. Get your ladies and gentlemen of the good guys community. We got is Labor Day coming up?
I believe so.
There's one of them. Cookout coming soon.
Yep.
And I
The end
want
of
you to
summer
get
cookout, whichever one
any
it is. I think it's
any
Labor Day.
summer cookout. I want you to get a plate.
Yeah.
Plate by itself. Don't add nothing else to that plate. Get you 2 glizzies. You proudly top that glizzy with whatever you want to top it with.
Yeah.
No, don't top it with nothing. Let them see the glizzy face to face. Grab that glizzy, look anyone who looks at you with disdain in the eyes, and you eat that glizzy.
Yeah.
And if they say something, just shake your head at them because they're the ones missing out.
That's all it is. That's what it comes down to.
Hey man, the hot dog done got me through so many days, man. Hot dogs. I used to eat I was so bad, man. I ate the hot dogs right out the pack, man. Cold.
Okay. See, that's
Come on,
Jay.
no. Hey, listen.
That's not okay.
That is okay, man. When you
Josh,
just want to.
what scenario were you in where you could not heat the hot dog up?
Maybe the lights
Please
was
tell
off.
me. Okay.
Maybe there's no power.
Okay.
Oh, so you judging me now because you always had your lights on? You always had your lights on? Have you ever had your lights off?
Only during a storm.
Yeah. Through the storms and sunshine. There was plenty of times where there was no lights, BD. But you know what lit me up? Shined a bright light from me? A glizzy. Nah, I didn't eat cold glizzies all the time, man. But sometimes them glizzies out the pack, sometimes they do you right.
I'm not sure about. I'm not even sure if that's like healthy or sanitary.
Nah,
J.E.
man. I was just young and dumb, man. But at the same time,
Okay. Yeah.
hey man, free the glizzies, man. I'm getting t-shirts made. Good guys.
Yeah.
Free
Sorry
the
you had to go
glizzies.
through that.
Hey man, listen. Everything's good now.
I remember one time in college, you put together a concoction that
Oh, yeah.
live on in infamy.
To this day.
You had chopped up some hot dogs,
I sure did. Proudly.
and then you did, what is it? Some ramen.
Some ramen.
Put some ramen
Yep.
in the microwave.
Yep.
Chopped up the hot dogs, threw them in the ramen, and that was it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, J.E.
Poor man's spaghetti, bro.
Yo, that is a struggle meal.
Struggle.
Unlike any other.
Listen, bro.
That's next level.
When you're struggling, you need a struggle meal. And sometimes you gotta amplify that struggle meal. Like, why just if I have a pack of hot dogs and a pack of ramen? Oh, my imagination.
Imagination ran wild with that one.
Went wild. I said, you know what happens if I chop these glizzies up? Heat them up a little bit. Put them in the noodles with a little juice in there still. Hey man, got me through.
Did you put a little hot dog water in the ramen for the broth?
Yeah, add a little hot dog water with the broth, man. Get some little what's some things that put some garnish on top of that thing, bro.
No, you did not put no garnish on there.
If we didn't have no money for garnish, I should have went outside, chopped up some grass, man. Springing a little thing on there, man. Make it look nice. Take pictures.
No, you don't take pictures of a struggle meal like that, bro.
Hey man, in the comments, put down your top struggle meal. When you were struggling, what's that struggle meal that got you through the struggle, man? I just want to see what y'all struggle meal was, because man, sometimes we need to just go back to those struggle meals and just say, man, they actually taste good.
Yeah, that's a
Probably
good
not.
idea. Put those in the comments because we might have to talk about that. Maybe next week we'll do a top 5 struggle meals. Or
Top
something like
5
that.
struggle meals, man.
Mine may sound a little bit different from J.E.'s, but that's okay.
Because
We
BD
all
never
have
struggled.
different kinds of struggle, you know.
Yeah, high end struggle. That's what BD had. BD had high end struggle. When mom cooked something he didn't want to eat, that was struggle for him. that was struggle. No, mom, I'm not eating this. That's struggle meal.
Rotisserie chicken again? Come on, Mom.
Come on, mom. Man, got rotisserie chicken. This guy averages 1.2 meats and 2.4 sides a meal.
What can I say? My mom likes to cook.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Miss Dixon, man, one of the top 3 greatest cooks of all time, man. Man, I remember one time, BD know this, man, when I ate at her house that one time and I had those beef tips over rice. Wow, this is a wild segment. Beef tips and glizzies. Man, but that beef tip over rice, man, bro, I leaned back in my chair. Came back and I said, Miss Dixon, whatever you did to this meal,
Yeah.
do it again.
Do it yet
Anyway,
again.
yeah, man. BD struggle meals were not my struggle meals. BD was just spoiled. I mean, I remember times I went to Waffle House, man. This guy's life is so paced. His life is so at ease. About time he finished cutting up his waffles, I'm done with my plate because anybody can snatch it. I grew up in such rough times. I was like, man, I got to eat this plate, man. Because listen, I don't think I ever enjoyed my meals as a kid. I don't think I enjoyed a meal. Like, you know, when you sit down and enjoy the meal, like you could tell whether someone was raised spoiled by how they prepare themselves to eat.
Look, man.
See, BD, he uses all his utensils. I looked up at Brandon at the waffle. I said, "Man, you really cutting up your? That means your mom. You used to your. I've never had a waffle in triangles.
The cutlery's there for a reason, J.E.
Man, no, you don't got time. Listen, man, you don't got time for cutleries, man. When you grew up the way I grew up, the fork was everything. The fork was the knife. The fork was the fork. The fork, man, you had to get in there, man. Nobody had time to grab the. Like, you probably had the table set. I don't even think we ever had our table set.
Yeah, every night we ate dinner as a family at the table.
Wow, because you had a complete family. Wow, must be great. I'll be looking at my daughter, man, and she's acting like she has both parents. I'm like, wow, you just bouncing between parent to parent. This must be nice. This what it was like.
Yeah, that's how it's. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you're able to give that to your daughter. You know.
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good thing.
yeah. Hey, yeah, man. Me and my dad are good. Me and my family is good. It's just funny. But I'm gonna give her some struggle because I don't want her to turn out to as BD.
You don't have to give your daughter struggle. If you had sons, that's a different story.
No, I won't give my daughter struggle, but I want to empower her. Like, go solve it yourself, and then I'll come and solve it, no matter what. But either way.
Fair enough.
All right, man. Free the glizzies. Hashtag free the glizzy. Let the world know, man. We freeing them things, man. Them things need to be free, man. Eating in public. Don't glizzy shame me, man. I don't even care if you glizzy shame me. I'm still eating the glizzy how I'm eating it.
No, we need to stop the glizzy shaming. All right? It's enough of it. Let me eat my hot dog in peace and solidarity. Okay? If you have, you know what I'm saying? If you're uncomfortable with your manhood or whatever, then you just sit over there and eat whatever you're going to eat. But let me eat my glizzy in peace. All right? All right. We're going to move on.
Yeah, wow. I didn't know we went that long. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. That was wild. 30 minutes on the glizzy.
Wow. Whoa.
Yep. Moving right along.
Yes, keep going.
So we're gonna talk.
Yeah, keep going.
We're gonna talk about a trending topic that's been going on here in social media that I've been seeing, and
here's the kicker,
it's
and this
called
is what they don't like:
the soft
the
guy
4 points.
era.
Women say they want equality, but then some demand the most unequal situations from men.
Men are
And
kind of
this
seen
includes
as
men paying all the bills, but the woman is making money as well, but she doesn't
and,
want to come out of pocket because she's a woman, right?
Now,
doesn't
I
make
guess
sense.
they're
That doesn't
kinda
sound
turning
equal to
that
me.
on its
Now we're
head
going to go down the
and
insight.
saying that,
If
you know,
men
hey, we're
acted
in our
like this,
soft guy
they'd be
era.
laughed out the
We
room.
don't have to be the
See, now
one
when
that
women
pays
are
for all
hearing
the
these
dates.
things,
We don't have to be
they're
the
like,
one
oh, this is
who,
ridiculous.
provides
No way.
and
You
pays
want a
for
mom.
100%
You
of
want
the bills.
a parent. You want a man.
We should either go 50-50 or even,
we
hey,
just want what you
the
guys
woman
want
can
from
pay
us
for
in
us.
return.
Like, we're the prize.
Now on to the advantage.
Type,
Men believe
mindset
they bring a lot to the table, so maybe they are now the table. See, a lot of men don't realize they are the table.
I've got a
man is
clip
paying all the
because they
bills.
can probably explain
Sir,
it a little bit
you
better
are
than
the
me.
table.
So let's watch this
You're
clip,
providing for a woman and your children. You are the table.
So yeah. So like I said, they're kind of, I think they're kind of trying to make a parody out of, you see these videos with women talking about, we talked about one last week, women talking about what they, expect from a man. He needs to, this is how much my upkeep cost. This is how much a first date should cost. You can't take me to the Cheesecake Factory. That's too cheap. You need to be spending more. So they're kind of, flipping that on its heel and saying, well, what if we sounded like that? Like, what if we said, oh, you're only taking me to the Cheesecake Factory? What are you, if you're broke, just say that. Or, so, why aren't you paying for the bills? You're picking me up in a Nissan, a Honda Civic. What's going on with that? Why are you only driving a Honda? So I guess it's kind of trying to flip that on its heel because, and I guess what they're saying is, you have a lot of women out here who are kind of, part of like the feminist movement, if you will, saying that they want equality and they want everything to be equal, but then they want us to pay for the dates. They want us to be the sole provider in certain scenarios. So that's kind of the soft guy era. They're kind of rebelling against that mindset or that train of thought. J.E., I'd like to get your thoughts on this. How do you feel about the soft guy era? More specifically, do you think men should still, in 2024, in today's social climate, do you think men should still be looking to be the providers? Do you think couples should go 50-50? What are your thoughts?
Well, my first thoughts with the soft guy era in regards to what you're asking is that I think men have to understand how God wired them. God wired us to provide. God wired men to protect. And in relational scenarios, provision and protection often stems or looks like paying all the bills, doing all the things required to provide and protect, because that's how we wired. And I think when a man finds the right woman, or let's make it biblical, when a man finds a wife, see, a wife is a woman who has wife traits. And when a man provides, a husband, if you will, provides for the wife, he gets things in return that money can't buy. So when you think about women and men and the roles in relationships, sometimes we forget that some aspects of the husband and the wife is not quantifiable. I think I said that word right. What's the word I'm looking for?
That's it.
It's not quantifiable. So I cannot measure and accurately determine the cost or the value of a wife making a house into a home. I can't quantify that. So if I'm providing for a woman and I'm asking for equality, it's crazy how men are asking for equality now, then all of a sudden now we measure marriage based upon what we give physically and not the unquantifiable things that you can't even put a price on, that you can't even put a value on. And sometimes men, the issue is with a lot of men, they get tired of providing and they're not aware of what their woman is providing, what the family provides. I am fully aware of what my family provides. I am fully aware of what my wife provides. And I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, you got to pay half the bills. You got to do this or that just to make me feel like I'm not taken advantage of. Man, no, you don't, what's the phrase I'm trying to say? You get to provide. There are certain things that we as a man get in solely in provision. The issue with men, oftentimes, especially those who subscribe to this, is they're always expecting from what they've been investing. If you always say, okay, I'm giving you this and I'm expecting this from you, my friend, you're missing the beauty of provision. The beauty of provision is the fulfillment in the provision alone. See, when I got married, I didn't expect nothing from my wife that wasn't outside of the Bible. I didn't expect her to make meals all the time. I didn't expect her to do X, Y, Z all the time. I didn't expect that because expectations lead to disappointments. The higher your expectation, the deeper your disappointment is going to be. But when you just say, you know what, God, I get the opportunity to provide for my family, there's joy in that. And back to the table statement that gentleman made. Like, the man is not the table. See, a table is a metaphorical thing that represents what both people bring, where both people can feed off of, where both people can grow from. And when you believe that because I provide for the table, or I'm the sole provider, now I am the table, then you're not going to be able to bring more to the table, because you're going to be like, I'm not growing no more above this until you give me this or that. So that's all I got, man. I think the soft guy era, if I'm interpreted correctly, is something that is opposite of God's original design, and it's no coincidence that this is a movement, if you will, because the enemy is always trying to flip God's original way on his head, so men can't be the head like they're supposed to.
Yeah, definitely agree. I'm off the rip. I'm gonna be like kind of hesitant to take on anything that's called, or I guess associated with being soft. Like that right there. Just like I feel like something's wrong there. I don't associate being a man with being soft in any way.
Yeah.
But that's just me, and that's not to say that as a man you can't have emotions, because I think emotional intelligence is very,
Yes.
it is something that's important. So it is okay to display emotions. It is okay to cry at the appropriate times as a man, but like just overall calling yourself soft, no, I can't. It's not something I can really vibe with. I think when it comes to, couples, and as far as, talking about, who should be the provider and who should, do what, I think, obviously some of that is going to be a case by case basis. There could be scenarios where, where your significant other, where your spouse or your wife, wants to work and she gets fulfillment in her job and she enjoys that. So I don't think, it's always a situation where as a man, we have to be like the 100% provider. But I do agree with the biblical principle that I believe that the responsibility of providing falls on the man. So if push comes to shove, you know what I mean? If we get into a situation where, okay, hey, we have kids and we want to, have someone pour more into the kids, that is more than likely, I think, the wife would probably take on that role and step back from, being a provider, and the responsibility in that scenario falls upon the man by default. Obviously, there's exceptions to everything, but I think, again, the responsibility to provide falls on the man. The wife can bring in money as well, but the responsibility falls on the man. Like you said, J.E., I think, the soft guy era and what they're kind of promoting here kind of takes out or kind of, I guess, puts on a plateau, is that the word I'm looking for? Puts on a mantle or whatever. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but it elevates money, right? And financial stability and things like that, which is, that's important. But that's not the only thing, like you said, J.E. You can't quantify, a woman being able to take a house and make it into a home. You can't quantify a woman nurturing the kids and raising them to be able to have emotional intelligence and to be able to, have that nurturing and that is priceless. Like That's something that we as men, we're not really the best at. Those years aren't our prime years of influence, the 0 to 5 and 6, because our mentality is, hey, we got to prepare you for life. It's a tough world out there.
For sure.
So that's kind of how we're thinking, but they need those years of nurturing. They need that from their mother. And we need that house to be made a whole, because Lord knows we can't do it. So you can't quantify the things that a woman brings to the table that is not, money, that's not monetary. So if that's the only thing that you're looking at, then yeah, you can say, oh yeah, you're the one who's providing, you are the table. But that's not the way, the Bible looks at it at all. When the Bible talks about, a husband, the Bible says that you're supposed to love your wife as Christ loved the church and lay down his life for her. So when we talk about, being a man, listen, we're not always like we're not always going to be in position to where we're getting something, tangible out of being a provider other than just the satisfaction of being a provider. That's something that God put on the inside of us as men, is the desire to provide, to go out and hunt and provide. That in and of itself is what gets me up and gets me going every day is, hey, I got to provide for my family. So it's not necessarily like, you know what I mean, something that I'm looking to get. Listen, yes, we as men have needs. Okay, I'm not going to, be blind to that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the relationship, again, I go back to the scripture where the Bible says, love your wife, men, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and laid down his life for the church. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to family, you got the wife, you got the kids, but when it comes to the person who's going to be the one who's sacrificing 9 times out of 10, it's going to be us as the man. That's what the Bible instructs us to do. And it's not always fun. I'd be lying if I sat here and told you it was always fun. It's not at all. But it's part of being a man, and there's nothing soft about it. It is hard. It's very hard.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't necessarily subscribe to the soft guy era. I understand, and I see where they're coming from. You know what I mean? Like I definitely understand where they're coming against the women who are talking about, oh, the Cheesecake Factory is not good enough for a first date, or, oh, you need to spend X amount of dollars on my upkeep. Like I understand them pushing back against that. So from that perspective, sure. I certainly understand them. But as far as overall, it's not really something I think a good guy can subscribe to. Like we as men, we're in the trenches, man. Like it's not easy. And Lord knows, I know that more than anyone. You guys heard my situation, but yet and still, I'm still providing for my family. I still have to make sure my kids are taken care of, and I still have to make sure the mother of my kids is taken care of, because if she's not in a good state of mind, fellas, if you are divorced or if you're single, it doesn't mean that you are free from the responsibility of the family that you created. You still have to make sure your kids are good, and you still have to make sure that the mother of your kids is in a good place, because the last thing you want is for her to be in a bad place mentally. Now she's not where she needs to be. She's not present. She's not able to nurture your children. That's your seed. So, can't really subscribe to the soft guy era. But I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, and that's why, man, you get to choose. Actually, God gets to choose. And if you let God choose the woman that's for you, there will be no frustration in provision. Will they be frustrating moments in provision? Because, man, I'm tired. Man, I'm whatever. But the good thing about responsibility when it comes to provision, you can always increase your ability to respond to the financial needs of your home. Most guys, they just think that, hey, I just got to work this job. And I'm just going to work my hands. I'm just going to work my feet. But, man, have you thought about working this to increase your skills, to increase your ability to respond to the needs of your family? And so I think there's a joy, especially when you get to say, okay, my family and I, we're going through a situation right now. Let me check my ability. How can I increase my ability to respond more financially? And I just think that's how God wired us, to go out there and go get it, man. My wife, when she told me after what she went through to have our daughter, and she was like, hey, with the postpartum stuff, I'm not feeling going back to work. I said, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right.
If that means I got to go do Instacart, if that means I got to do this or that, it don't matter, because it's seasonal. You see what I'm saying? But as a man, you cannot have a woman out there separated from her children. That's why there's an order to things. Before you plant your seed in another woman's garden, ask yourself, are you ready to nurture what comes from that?
That's the part.
She's a garden, man. And if you don't tend that garden, your fruit will fail. The fruit of your home. It's a lot that comes with this. And that's why the reason why I'm against this messaging is because it's messaging aimed at the kids. aimed at young men. And then now they're going to go into relationships thinking, hey, you got to provide for me. I don't have to provide. We have to 50-50 this thing. Man, no, take that girl out. Show her what it's like to be at peace up under your provision. Right. You get more out of your woman when your woman's at peace and you're providing. Women, God made women to be secure and stable because the nurturing aspect of a woman becomes off when she's not stable or secure. And if she's off, like Brandon alluded to, the kids are going to be off. Your home is going to be off. So if you're a single man right now, man, increase your ability. Be excited about providing because what you're providing is the structures and the systems and the security and the stability needed for your family to grow. So, man, listen, I don't subscribe and I don't even plan on looking at the channel.
Well said. Well said. All right. We can go ahead and move on. Let us know what your thoughts are on the soft guy era movement. If you've seen clips and social media clips about it, let us know what you think about that.
Real quickly.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you subscribe to this idea that the first date can't be, I think unfortunately, the mentality of a lot of these women, they think they're the prize. You're not the prize. The prize is what you offer. What you offer is the prize. You're not the prize. Because if I'm talking about in regards to the idea that all I got to do is sit here and be cute and pretty, I'm the prize. You get to look at me. No. What do you bring to the table?
True.
What do you bring to the table? Do you even know how to systematically turn a house to a home? Do you know how to speak to a man that always sustains a level of respect towards him? Because you don't want your presence to frustrate his provision. And you're just not bringing nothing to the table, and it frustrates him because you're not bringing any. Imagine paying for a house that's not a home. Imagine paying for the utilities to a house that's not a home. So we want to make sure we communicate to both sides of the aisle. So things will be, what they need to be.
That's true. There's a lot to be said for that. Like you said, it's on both sides. Do you, like J.E. said, do you know how to make a house into a home? Do you know how to speak life into your man?
For real.
To your husband? Do you know how to, understand, his moods and kind of read, your man? Not to say that you got to read his mind, but understand when he's not where he needs to be as a man, like when he's not walking, not just when he's, because he might be holding down a job and that's cool, but you can see that something is not right with him. He's not fulfilled. He's not walking in his purpose. So can you speak to that? Can you speak life into him and say, hey, babe, I appreciate you holding down the 9 to 5. You are doing a great job of providing, but it feels like, do you feel like you're walking in your purpose? Do you feel like you are, doing everything that you need to be doing as far as, your purpose and your purpose here on earth? So being able to be sensitive to those things, being able to turn the house into a home, being able to nurture the kids and speak into the kids' life and pray over the family. So those are things that, like J.E. said, you can't quantify those things. And so those are things that you have to make sure that you're able to do. And of course, as a man, vice versa. We have to be able to not only provide, but we have to be able to be the spiritual head of the family, pray over the family. Right. So there's a lot that goes into it. So I say that to say, listen, when it comes to marriage, it ain't nothing soft about it on either side.
It's not soft. It is
nothing soft about it on either side.
It is one of the most difficult things to do, but the most rewarding if it's done right.
100%.
It's one of the most difficult things because when has any time where two people shared one thing was easy?
Yeah.
You're sharing an ideal. You're sharing a covenant. You're learning communication. Marriage is not easy. That's why we're trying to tell you all, hey, man, get in the Word of God, find out God's original design for marriage, God's original design for husband and wives, and align your lives in accordance to that, even as a single person, so that when you do find your person, then you actually can bring something to the table. You can bring home building skills. You as a man can bring house providing skills. And then y'all can come together to build a corporation where marriage is held above honor, where people, when they see your marriage, they'll say, you know what? God joined them. And that right there is a beacon of light, letting me know there's still hope in the world. And so it's very important, man, or you're going to end up with a roommate.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, like I said, hop in the comments. Let us know what you think about the soft guy era. What are your thoughts? We'd love to hear from you guys. Other than that, we're going to keep it moving on to the next topic of the day. So this past week, Kendrick Lamar came out with the most much anticipated video for his scathing diss track towards Drake, Not Like Us. So, you know, as I'm sure, you know, many of you have probably heard or been aware of, you know, Kendrick Lamar and Drake have kind of been going back and forth, a little rap battle over the past couple of months. And, you know, most people feel like Kendrick won. He probably did.
Most definitely did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So, but and the reason I bring it up is because I feel like there are some things that we can actually learn from the battle. You know, the different approaches that different individuals took in you know, the entire scenario. And so I kind of wanted to discuss it. You know, I know it's something that's going on in society today. And like I said, I think there's a lot that we can kind of glean from it. So I kind of wanted to talk about that here today. The first thing that I think we can kind of learn from the entire situation is you have to lock in on your purpose and not let anything distract you. The reason I say that is because, you know, listen, you look at, you know, an artist like Drake, before this battle, like, he was on top of the music game. He didn't have any problems. Like, he putting out hits. He was doing his thing. And, you know, you had a guy like Kendrick who, you know, kind of, what was the track?
Like That?
Like That, yeah. And so he came out with a verse on Like That and kind of baited Drake and, you know, put that out there. And Drake had a decision to make at that point. Like, you know, he could have just said, okay, cool, I see what you did there, but that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with my record sales. That has nothing to do with my audience. That has nothing to do with my purpose as far as what I'm doing, you know, in rap. But he chose to address it. And so, you know, now, like we said, you know, he ended up losing the battle. So he's kind of viewed in a different light. Like, he's in a bad place right now. And that wouldn't have been the case if he had just stayed focused on what he was doing. And so how that relates to us in our life is, you know, no, we're not Drake. And our purpose is not to come out with hit records, but your purpose is what your purpose is, whether that's being a father to your kids, whether that's being the best employee you can possibly be, whether that's starting a podcast, whether that's doing whatever it is. There's always going to be distractions. There's going to be naysayers. Satan's always going to bring something, some little whisper in your ear saying, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you need to be doing this right here. Oh, what about this? What if this happens? What if that happens? And if you answer him, he's going to play with you. He's going to mess with your mind. He's going to mess with your confidence. He's going to completely throw you off track of what you're supposed to be singularly focused on. Another thing that I wanted to point out kind of to that end is, you know, once, you know, Drake engaged in the battle, he ended up going after like a bunch of different people. You know, Kendrick, I guess, kind of developed as, you know, his primary target because he was the biggest target. But Drake's over here worried about Future and Metro Boomin and all these other people instead of staying focused on the main thing. So that's really almost a whole different point, but it kind of is the same thing. You got to stay focused on what it is that is your purpose. And there's nothing wrong with diversification, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with having, okay, I'm going to start a podcast, but I'm also going to learn to invest in stocks. And I'm also going to learn how to, edit videos. Like, there's nothing wrong with diversifying. But at some point, you got to lock in and master one thing, right? So in Drake's scenario, he needed to lock in on Kendrick. He needed to make, because Kendrick was a whole problem, as we found out. So you need to lock in on the main thing. What your purpose is. What is it that, you're gifted at? What is it that's easy for you that's difficult for other people? What is it that you would do if money was not an issue, right? Lock in on that. And don't be distracted by other people saying, "Oh, what do you? All you do is work and work on your purpose, your vision, whatever." Like, you're constantly doing something. You don't ever have time to go out. You don't ever have time to come over here and kick it. No, stay locked in on the main thing. If you don't, you see what happened to Drake. The devil's going to come in and he's going to take your purpose away from you. He's going to take that vision away from you. He's going to do whatever he has to do to stop you from pursuing what it is that you need to be focused on. So I feel like that's one of the main things that we can learn. J.E., what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. See, the thing that we can learn from this, added on to what Brandon said, is that the enemy is going to always try to bait you out of focus, right? And also what I wrote down here is that the one that baited you is the one that will escalate it. Right now, the battle has been over for about 3 months. And this guy is keeping the momentum. Like, he had the whole West Side calling Drake the P word.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is about the enemy doesn't just have a small plan when he distracts you. No, he wants to subtract from you. That's what distractions do. They subtract from you. And so now Drake can't even put out a hot summer. Listen, it's July. It's July. Not like us. It's about to go into Memorial Day. Not like us. It's probably going to be played during Thanksgiving. Not like us. People going to be dancing around the Christmas tree talking about they not like us. They still
gonna put out the remix. You know that's still coming.
And we ain't even got to the what's the thing called, man? The HBCUs.
Oh,
them horns.
They gonna tear that up.
So now that's why you don't play with somebody called the boogeyman. So now as people, you have to see that, hey, man, the enemy just doesn't want to distract you and be like, oh, I got him. They want to take up real estate. One distraction, being baited out of focus. Now, all of a sudden, you got 6, 7, 8 months of your life where the enemy's crip walking on your demise. So now you got to begin to say, hey, do I want the next 6 to 7 months struggling with embarrassment, struggling with I can't even really pop out and show anybody anything now? Because the one that pop up and showing people right now is got the whole world saying A minor. I know that wasn't a proper note, but I'm not gifted in singing.
Yeah.
But back to Brandon's point, man, stay focused, because if you don't lock in, you'll be locked out.
Yeah.
If you're not locked in on your purpose, the enemy's job is to ensure you're locked out. Now, every song Drake is putting out right now is not hitting the same, because when you battle someone that is at your level, all of a sudden now there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of emotions involved. But if you keep your focus on Christ, the Bible says, keep your eyes to the hills, for which cometh your help. Your help cometh from the Lord. Like, when you battle your enemy, you're not stronger than him. So Kendrick is a lyricist. The thing that I didn't like about Drake came in pretty arrogant. He came in pretty cocky, talking about, I need you to come out with what do you say? A tundra?
Quintuplet. Yeah, quadruple entendre. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what happens when you're high on your own drugs.
All right, we're going into the next point.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just gonna go ahead and the next point because and you can finish what you were saying, but I was just gonna say the next point.
Please go, for sure.
The next point is don't underestimate the enemy. So you can go ahead on what you were talking about there.
Listen, the Bible says, "Do not be ignorant of Satan's devices." Your enemy is a formidable enemy. Satan, demons are intelligent beings. One of the greatest marketing strategies Satan ever did was to paint him as a short guy with a red suit, with a pitchfork and horns. He wants you to see him as inferior when he's actually trying to position himself as superior. This was a marketing strategy. Oh, the devil is defeated. It's funny when I go into churches and they scream about how the devil is defeated. But as soon as you walk out of that community, you're still defeated. We brag as if the devil is under our feet. We brag as if like, oh, I got power over the enemy, but you still addicted.
Man.
Your marriage is suffering. Your mind is all over the place, but you shout it good. But you got to understand that your enemy is strategic. Demons have a scouting report on you. They know you can't go left. They know you don't got no right hand. They know that when you dribble one power dribble to the right, you're going to spin back the other way. They know. They know that you can't handle a defense like this. They know. And so what you don't want to do is to get high off of church and not be strong in Christ and thinking that you can really defeat an enemy that you can't defeat without God. That's why the Bible says put on the whole armor of God so that you might be able to withstand the schemes of the devil. A scheme is a plan. The devil don't always come. He doesn't come to you face to face. Why do you think he went to Eve? The devil knew not to go to Adam. He went to who had Adam. Oh my goodness. So for instance, the enemy's not just going to go to where you're strong. He's going to go to where he knows you weak to weaken your strengths. And so now, because you've been high, and the devil loves this, the enemy loves to sit back for 10 years and watch you get famous. Ain't that what Kendrick did? Didn't Drake say you only pop out at once every so many amount of years?
Yeah.
The enemy watches you until you get high on your own stuff. And then that's when he attacks, because he knows you arrogant now. He knows that he should have listened to J. Cole. He should. Yeah, man. Yeah. Go ahead, BD.
I'm gonna stop you because you're gonna go into another point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, man. I just got so much to say. Man, I admired the chess that was played through Kendrick. Go ahead, BD.
Yeah. To continue to speak to that point, I think, like you said, what Drake did was he underestimated his enemy, which was Kendrick. He felt overconfident. He put out some diss tracks. Kendrick didn't respond. He put out some more diss tracks, baiting him. And listen, you can't underestimate the enemy. You can't underestimate Satan. Listen, he's defeated. All right, he's a defeated foe. We have dominion over him by using the word of God. But that doesn't mean you still play with him. That don't mean you play with him. So when you have things in your life that you struggle with, when you have, vices and weaknesses and areas that God is still working with you on, just because you've had a nice little streak, just because you've gone, 6 months without succumbing to that vice, that doesn't mean that you just, oh, okay, well, shoot, I've been working on not, drinking alcohol, and I've been doing a good job. I have gone 6 months. So you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna go out with my, go out with the fellas. I'm gonna go out with my girls, and we're gonna chill on have a night on the town, and that your friends drink. Don't play with it. Don't even play with that. I'm gonna continue to do what I've done to continue to avoid this situation. Don't underestimate the enemy. He's gonna put you in a situation. You go out with your friends, he's gonna put you in a situation where you end up succumbing to that vice. He's gonna put the perfect circumstances in place. Your friend is gonna order that perfect drink that you used to get that just got the colors and everything just looked just right. or you're gonna feel like, oh, they're drinking and they're loose, and I'm whatever the scenario is, whatever the situation is, whatever it is that you struggle with, the enemy is plotting and scheming. I can guarantee you, Kendrick has been planning this for years.
Yeah.
He's been sitting back while Drake's been putting out music and going on tour and hanging out with all the young artists and people. Kendrick's been sitting back and watching and plotting how he can destroy Drake. And that's the exact same thing the enemy is doing to you. He is sitting back and he is watching you. He's watching you when no one's around. He's watching you when you're praying. He's watching you when you're not praying. He's watching what you're looking at on TV. And he is planning, what situation can I put them in where they can fall. They're doing good. They're doing good right now. But when they, let me just sit back and wait, because I know that eventually they're gonna feel comfortable, they're gonna feel confident, and they're gonna put themselves in a situation. And when they do, I got them. And that's exactly what Kendrick did. So that's one of the main things that I kind of took away from it, man. Like, no matter what, don't let up. Don't let up on what you're doing. Stay focused and don't underestimate the enemy, man. He is out here plotting and scheming to take us out as Christians, as believers. There's nothing he wants more. So you have to guard against that. Be sober, be vigilant. The enemy roams around like a lion, seeking who he can devour. So you have to guard against it at all times. Don't let your guard down. Don't get overconfident and think that you got it. Whatever you've been doing, keep doing it.
Because no matter how many songs Kendrick had in the tuck, if Drake would have just ignored him,
that's it.
That's it. Sometimes we're giving our attention to things that we should be ignoring.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, why does that always get my attention? Have I healed that under wound? Have I healed that unresolved issue? Why are you always responding to something that doesn't deserve your response? And that's what we got to start thinking about. Like, okay, but when that's what I love about purpose. When you're fulfilling your purpose and you begin to reap the benefits of it, and you begin to reap the fruit of your purpose, you don't want anything to come in between that. That's why in life, you should always be endeavoring to grow. You should never endeavor to be comfortable, because when you get comfortable, that's when he increases the pressure. Because he knows you're going to be scrambling. He knows that you're going to bite every bait, because now you got ego. So you just got to think about, hey, man, your enemy is watching. He knows you better than you know yourself. He's seen your kind before, and he loves when your kind is blind, because he'll blindside you. And next thing you know, you'll be responding to something that you wished you never gave attention to. What's that thing you responded to years ago, and now you're still watching the video? Now the enemy's out here, got a whole sea of people, a crip walking, calling you all kind of names, bringing out your hidden sins. Now all of a sudden, if Drake would have just ignored, there would have never been an A minor line. There would have been no thoughts. I'm not saying Drake is dealing with that. I don't know. But one thing I do know, this wouldn't have been out here for speculation.
Nope.
Do you see that the enemy has a package? Like, he wants you, because the thing about Kendrick, he said, what did he say in his first line? I've already predicted your angles. Do you know the enemy knows your angles, but you know whose angle he doesn't know? God's angles. Woo! So if you're predictable, you cannot even put yourself in those situations, because he already can predict your angles. He knew that Drake was going to come out with that song, and he stepped, or what's the song, Family Matters? And he stepped on it. 30 minutes later, I can predict your angles. Listen, you got to go to the one whose angles the enemy can't predict.
Okay. That's powerful, Jay. That's powerful. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing that we can take from this battle, discernment is key. All right. Now, at the beginning of the battle, when Kendrick, he came out with that verse on Like That, Jermaine Cole came out with, 7-minute freestyle, came out, clapped at Kendrick. It wasn't anything like scathing, wasn't really anything necessarily personal, but it was kind of like a clap back, like, okay, look, hey, we can go. I'm right here. I'm one of the best rappers in the game. And it was cool. And then within the next couple of days, J. Cole got up at one of his concerts and said, hey, you know what? I thought about it. I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts of the beef. I'm backing down. Say what you will, but I got to protect my peace. I don't want no parts of this. And they went in on J. Cole. They talked junk about him. They said he's soft. He backed down. Listen, in retrospect, J. Cole is looking like a sage. J. Cole is looking like the smartest person in the room. J. Cole comes out of this looking better probably than anybody else because he used discernment. He saw what was coming. He saw, listen, this seems like what these two brothers got going on seems like it's personal. And that's not on brand with what I am about. That's not what I stand for. I don't want to lower myself and muddy myself in that kind of activity. So he exited stage left. And sometimes in life, that's what we have to do. And that it just speaks to, that's the kind of discernment that we need to have as believers when we go through situations in life. That's why we have the Holy Spirit, so that we can discern, so that we can see I see what's about to happen. I'm praying about it. I'm hearing in my shanana that this is about to go wrong, that I need to go in a different direction. And so that was just like, that was a word for me as I watched it. I was like, yo, J. Cole, man, I don't know if he's a believer, but that's exactly how we're supposed to operate. We're supposed to see what's going on and have the wisdom and the insight that comes from the Holy Spirit on the inside of us to say, I need to go a different direction here. And sometimes it's going to open you up to ridicule. Sometimes people are going to say, oh, that's not cool. Oh, you're lame. Oh, why are you not going out with us? Why are you not doing what we're trying to do? And you have to be able to say, I don't care what you think right now. I know that what I'm hearing in my spirit is that I want no parts of this. And in the end, when we do that, you're going to come out on top. You're going to come out winning. And I think that's one of the main things that I took from the battle, J.E.
Man, I just wrote so much down, man. That was so inspiring. There's a verse that I found, Proverbs 27:12. It says, the prudent sees danger and hides himself. But the simple go on and suffer for it. Yep. This verse articulates this situation very clearly. J. Cole, which is a prudent person, I'd rather preserve and steward my friendships. I'd rather preserve and steward my character. I'd rather preserve and steward who I am. No matter what y'all think I should have done, I see danger. And I hid myself. But the simple go on and suffer for it. Now, when you look at the juxtaposed positions of the two, which one's the most simple one between Drake and Kendrick? Drake. How many of us are more simple than we are prudent? Simple people always respond to everything. Man. Prudent people have too much to lose themselves. They have too much to lose. So when I see danger coming, I hide myself. That's what J. Cole did. And that's what we have to do. You got to be able to have such discernment. That's what the Bible says, having your discernment trained to be able to know the difference between good and evil. Your discernment has to be trained.
Yeah.
You have to train your ability to think 3 moves ahead. You got to train yourself to do pros and cons. You got to train yourself to be able to go and say, I'll be right back. I'm going to go pray about it. That's a prudent, sensible person. And I wrote some notes off of what BD said, inspired by what he said. The first thing I wrote is, the battle is not yours. One thing J. Cole noticed, he said, "This is not my battle." How many battles? Think about it, how many of our friends' battles we jumped in.
Yeah.
How many family members' battles we jumped in? How many Instagram or Twitter chats or whatever chats online we jumped in? That's not your battle. How many of us are trying to jump in our own battle, trying to battle the enemy? God said, that's not your battle, son. That's not your battle, daughter. That's my battle. I also wrote here, discernment will come with embarrassment. Discernment. See, BD can attest to this for himself. When you're a prudent person, you oftentimes get laughed at when you see what blind people can't see. And you're going to get laughed at. Noah was laughed at. Noah was ridiculed, but he endured to the end. And then when those people felt those raindrops, and they felt the water creeping up from their ankles to their knees, from their knees to their waist to their shoulders to their neck, and now they drowning. Noah didn't look that dumb, did he? He discerned something.
Ooh.
Discernment will come with embarrassment. You got to be willing to endure the embarrassment because God showed you something. God told you something. And I wrote here, just because people want you to do it, don't mean you do it.
Is it? Ooh,
just because people want you to do it, your mama wants you to do it, your daddy wants you to do it, your friends want you to do it, doesn't mean you do it. You answer to God alone. Yeah, man. J. Cole, that's why I call him the psalmist, J. Cole. The prophet, J. Cole.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He said, like, even when he came out with the freestyle, he was like, man, everybody around me is like, oh, man, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Like, you got to clap back. And he knew in his spirit, like, I don't really, like, I'm cool with this dude. I don't really have a problem with dude. But, like, because of what the people around him said, he came out with the freestyle. But
let me tell you something, BD.
Yeah.
When you try to fight a battle that's not yours, what you put out won't be good. People ridicule J. Cole. They was like, that ain't, because if your heart not in it.
That's true.
Now he done put out something that it wasn't from his heart.
Yeah.
One thing about David and Goliath, that was David's battle.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the outcome when it's your battle. You're going to win it. Man, so much you can learn from J. Cole, man. And I tell people, man, stomach the embarrassment. Because he who laughs last laughs best. He or she who laughs last laughs best. You're not laughing at the people that's laughing at you. You're laughing because you're enjoying the end. You're enjoying God coming through for you. You're enjoying the latter when they laughed at your former. So J. Cole, man, we learned so much from J. Cole, man. J. Cole, all them people that talked about him, did rap songs against him, can learn from him right now.
Absolutely. All right. And then the last thing that I did, I kind of took from paying attention to this battle is I think one of the main reasons why Kendrick ended up winning and pretty much the unanimous knockout punch was his final single, Not Like Us. And one of the strongest, the biggest reasons why that song resonated so much is because it catered to a particular region, the West Coast, that really got behind the record and really promoted it and really pushed it, and it really spoke to them. And I think that is something that Drake didn't really have. You know, he's kind of notorious for, yes, he's from Toronto, but he spent time in Memphis and Houston, and he claims, you know, the whole kind of different cities and different musical styles. So he kind of pulls from everywhere, but he doesn't really have that foundation, that community. And I think that is what ended up turning the tide in Kendrick's favor. He had a whole coast behind him. And what I was able to pull from that is the importance of community.
Yes.
We're in a day and age where Yes, we have technology. Yes, a lot of churches, are online. And there's nothing wrong with going to church online sometimes. But whether it's church, whether it's what are the cell groups that the churches have, the small groups, whatever you want to call it, whether it's you got like a group of Christian friends, a tight knit group of friends that y'all hold each other accountable, whatever that looks like for you, you have to have community. You have to have community. You can't take on things. You can't take on Satan. You can't take on life on your own. You need a community who supports you, who's behind you, who you can confide in, who you can break bread with, who you can have for accountability. When you have that community behind you, you can take on the challenges of life. So that is, like Drake didn't have that. So when Satan comes at you and you don't have any community behind you, when you're out there on your own, you're like a plant just in the middle of a field. Just the wind's blowing it all over the place. The sun's beating down on it. And he can come in and attack you. And it's a lot easier for him to attack you when you don't have that community behind you. When you don't have that community supporting you, checking in on you, making sure you're good. So, again, if it's possible for you to get into a church and be planted into a church of like-minded believers, do it. If you have a group of friends of like-minded believers and you guys get on a group call once or twice a month or whatever and check on each other and make sure each other's good, do that. Whatever that looks like for you, you need to have community. I think it's very important as we battle with Satan on a daily basis and go through life. Having that community is going to help you win. And so that's something that I took from the battle. J.E., what are your thoughts?
Man, don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Because the enemy will use the people on the opposite side of the bridges you burnt. Then he burned bridges with Future, burned bridges with Metro, burned bridges with all these different people. And all of a sudden, you get so caught up on yourself. You get so isolated of yourself. You get so full of yourself. You start burning these different bridges. And then when a hero from another side of the country who has galvanized a whole group of people comes against you, that enemy is going to now use... And that's how some of us fall when the enemy uses a person that we know is going to have to make us respond. When he got on that track with Future, that did something for Drake. That did something to him because now all of a sudden you don't have Atlanta support no more. You probably only got Houston. You probably only got. So what I'm saying is when you don't have a region and you don't have relationships, the enemy will use the people where you burnt bridges to, who still has your heart. That's how he tears you apart. Now all of a sudden, now Drake has to run back to Toronto, and he has to do whatever because now Kendrick done got him up out of here, and that's what the devil wants. He wants to distract you out of your purpose and then keep you from being profitable in it in a major way. Drake can no longer, like I told you before, man. You was talking about, Drake's going to come back. See, let me tell you something. I was on the side of Kendrick. BD was on the side of Drake. As you could probably, I'm a Renaissance man myself. I've, galvanized some individuals. And BD's, of course, the pretty boy. And he paints his nails and Drake and whatnot. But, okay, he doesn't paint his nails. Well, but all right. So anyway. But what I told Brandon, I said, Drake is not going to come out with a summer hit. He's not.
It's been a long summer.
He's not going to come out with a summer hit. Drake is done. He's done. Mark my words. At the 1 hour and 23-minute marker, Drake is done as Drake was. Drake is still going to be Drake. He's still going to be successful. We're watching the beginning to the end because now we're seeing a superstar spiraling. We're seeing an individual who's saying, hey, it's easy to pick on the little people. It's easy to pick on Pharrell's and all these different people. But when it comes to somebody formidable, those individuals will expose you. Lot to learn from this, man. That's why we love talking about current events and cultural things because God is in everything. We can extrapolate any type of lesson out of anything to help us be on guard, to help us grow, and to help us go from glory to glory, man. So I didn't know if he had any other things or any other points, but man, that was a valuable conversation, man. And I hope you guys learned so much from it, and not playing with your enemy, and not jumping in battles that doesn't belong to you, that belongs to God, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I really think there's, like I said, as I was watching it unfold, I was like, man, this seemed like something, you know what I'm saying, one of them old stories out the Bible that is just a lot that you can take from it. So yeah, I hope that breakdown was valuable and added some value to you guys. Hop in the comments, let us know for sure. But with that being said, we're going to keep it moving to a segment that has been gone for a long time. But it's time for us to bring it back.
Bring it back, man.
I'm talking about smash or pass. Okay. JE, this is a good one.
Okay.
Okay. Bojangles. Fried chicken establishment.
Fine. Beautiful.
Commonly known to the southeastern region. If you do not have a Bojangles where you live, I'm sorry.
For you. I'm sorry for you.
Okay. But think Popeyes, but better.
Thank you. I'm about to say, man, don't even, Popeyes and Bojangles should not even be in the same sentence.
No, it should not.
No.
With that being said, one of the things that Bojangles is known for is their biscuits. Okay. They have, the Bowberry biscuit. Back in the day, they used to have a cinnamon biscuit that was really elite. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they did away with it. But now, JE, Bojangles has, and by the way, props to Bojangles and their marketing department. They have stepped it up. Let's give it up for Bojangles and their marketing department, because they've been implementing some menu items here lately, just shaking it up, and really for the longest. So one of the things that we love about Bojangles is the Bowberry biscuit.
Man.
It's a biscuit that's infused with berries and glaze on the top of the donut. I mean, not the donut, but the biscuit.
Wow. Thank you.
It's delicious. Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, so for example, it's basically, if you think about Popeyes, they have like the strawberry. It's a cheap knockoff. It's actually good too. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not better than the Bowberry biscuit. And so Bojangles, for years, we have been saying, and just doing it ourselves, getting the Bowberry biscuit, splitting it in half, and putting sausage and egg on there and eating it.
We've been doing this.
Oh, we've been doing this. We've been doing this. But Bojangles finally, marketing department got up to speed, and they created a Bowberry sausage biscuit. So now Bojangles has implemented a new menu item. It's called Peach Cobbler. And apparently it's like a biscuit that's like split in half with some kind of peach cinnamon preserves and the cinnamon or the glazed frosting on top of it. And it looks delicious, JE. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably put a picture on here so we can have the visual.
You got a picture right now?
I don't. I don't.
It's okay.
Actually,
I'm about to go look it up right now. I've seen it while driving by.
Yeah.
But one thing about Bojangles, I have to keep driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bojangles one of them places, man. And you know what they got right now, BD? I'm a leg and thigh man. Okay. Man, they got
chicken.
this. Yeah, chicken. You know a man buys chicken. That's all I gotta say. Man, they got this new leg and thigh fry for $5.99.
Wait, what? They got
a leg and thigh and a fry for $5.99.
So a 2-piece, basically.
Yeah, but fry and thighs got okay. All right.
Has more of a ring to it. I gotcha.
Yeah, more of a ring to it. But bro, when I saw that and the peach cobbler, do you know if I would have got that fry, if I would have got that leg and thigh fry and the peach cobbler, I am going to be in remission. I think that's what remission means. Remission means
sounds
like
really good.
Yeah. I think that's remission. I gotta find a picture, man, because I thought BDN Productions was gonna have a picture, but apparently they don't.
I'll have a picture for the final video, but
okay, good.
Yeah,
okay.
I probably should have had. I thought you had already seen it, but
I saw it, but I haven't really had a moment because, man, I couldn't look at it too much, man. I said, you know what? If I don't taste it, I'll be. Oh my goodness, bro.
Are you looking at it now?
Oh man. Bojangles, what is you doing? You doing the devil's work, bro.
No, they're doing the Lord's work is what they're doing. And I'm going to answer the question, it is an emphatic yes for me. I will be smashing the peach cobbler. Now, it'll probably be on the weekend. I can't eat like that during the week. I have to use a little bit of discipline. But when it comes to the weekend, I might have to get that 2-piece with the Cajun fries, sweet tea, and a peach cobbler.
Oh, dang, BD, sweet tea too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man, I can't do no sweet tea, man. A biscuit, the only thing you can do with a biscuit is some water, man.
Nah, man. Sweet tea.
Wow,
with just
this
the
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, J.E., I did smash or pass the Bojangles Peach Cobbler.
I'm smashing, man, but I'm smashing with all due respect to the cinnamon biscuit, man. Because I'm like, man, I'm smashing it, but I do miss my ex. My ex biscuit, man, I miss it.
Bojangles, I know you're watching this. Okay, have faith, J.E. I need you guys to bring back we are starting a petition.
Yeah.
Okay? Bring back the cinnamon biscuit. Okay? You got some kind of cinnamon twist going on the menu. I want to talk to who's in charge. I want to talk to who's in charge at Bojangles. How many cinnamon twists are you selling, Bojangles?
Not much.
Why did you take away the cinnamon biscuit? Like, why was that decision made?
Racist.
It's just a biscuit.
Just joking.
Like there's nothing difficult about making that. It seems like it would be more complicated to incorporate a cinnamon twist onto the menu because that's a whole different thing. The cinnamon biscuit, you already make biscuits all day. All you got to do is hit that thing with some cinnamon and some, glaze, and you're good.
Man. I drove up to Bojangles one day because the day, maybe a couple of days before I went to Bojangles again, the cinnamon biscuit was there.
Wait, what?
I pull up. So I'm saying when I remember when the cinnamon biscuit was still at Bojangles.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then like 4 days later, when I went back to Bojangles again because I was craving that cinnamon biscuit, the lady tells me on the intercom, it's not there. I think I almost blew a gasket. I said, what you mean? Oh, not at this location? That's what you mean? So, I understand if y'all don't have it at this location. Okay, I got you. No, sir. No location. I ain't ordered nothing.
Just drove off.
I don't think, I drove off. I ain't even say thank you, ma'am. I just drove off because I was like, how in the world are you going to take the very thing that makes my meal complete?
My God.
Bowberry biscuits are good, don't get me wrong. But when you open that cinnamon box and you see that cinnamon glazed soft biscuit baptized in glaze and you just finish your leg and thigh.
Yeah.
You got about half the fries gone and you just think there's nothing better than knowing when you finish your meal, there's a dessert.
My.
And the second greatest substitution that ever happened to mankind after Jesus Christ himself. The second greatest substitution, for those who theologically is confused right now, the first substitution is when he took our sins.
Yes.
And gave us his righteousness.
He did that.
So that we can be in right standing before the Father and we can approach the throne boldly as adopted sons and daughters of God. That was the first greatest substitution of all time.
What's the second?
When you order that 2-piece one side. Or if you big boy with it, you big back with it, you get the 2-piece, 2 sides.
Yeah.
You know that biscuit that comes with it? Did you know you can substitute that biscuit for a cinnamon biscuit or a bowberry biscuit?
What?
The second greatest substitution of all time, man. One of the greatest things I discovered. Now, one thing about me, and this is why you guys don't know the hidden gems of these restaurants. Y'all don't ask questions.
You have not because you ask not.
You have not because you asked not. I remember when I went to Cookout. Okay. And I got me an Oreo milkshake. And I said, man, it ain't enough Oreos in here. I asked, can you guys add extra Oreos to my Oreo milkshake? You know what that woman said? We sure can. We can add how many ever you want. So when I put up
upcharge?
No upcharge for the extra Oreo.
Wow.
So when I went to Bojangles and I was like, man, the biscuit's cool. Don't get it twisted now. That Bojangles biscuit is good now.
Yeah.
But I always substituted. I ain't substitute my biscuit since I took the cinnamon biscuit away because I said, man, y'all playing games. I don't like when people just take stuff and don't tell me. I didn't get an email. Nobody ran that idea through me. Go ahead, BD.
Listen, I can't let you just skim past that. Are you telling me, okay, was it just a singular location that you substituted the Bowberry biscuit?
Any Bojangles subscribes to the second greatest substitution of all time.
I'm going to try this, and if I get laughed at, J.E., I'm going to come back on the podcast, and we're gonna have words.
No, get you, BD. Tell the people what you normally get from Bojangles, where you can where you'll be able to do the substitution.
I normally get the 3-piece combo with the Cajun fries.
The 3 pieces, the 2 legs and thigh.
I always get. I don't really like, controversial opinion, but I don't really like legs, so I always get all thighs. You don't like.
Listen, all thighs is not bad. Hold on. Yeah, I typically get 2 thighs and a leg because sometimes you gotta get the leg some.
Switch it up.
Yeah, switch it up sometime. But man, I remember when I used to get the 3 thighs. I said, man, this is the best Bojangles box right here, bro. 3 thighs, and you know what that GMO they got in them thighs look like breasts now. Hey, man, give me 3 thighs, man. The original breast.
But if I can substitute that biscuit for a Bowberry at no additional cost, I find that hard to believe, J.E.
It's not. Listen, you gotta listen. Tell God to help your unbelief.
Lord.
Man, I've never failed you when it came to food. Never failed you. Never. Think about it. There you go. Yep. Never failed. He never fails. He never fails. Man, go ahead and substitute, man. Now it's dangerous though.
Okay.
Do you do 3 thighs and 1 side, or do you do 3 thighs and 2 sides?
I normally just get 1 side, but I mean, if I'm really engaging in big back activities, then I'll get the 2 sides. I'll get the Cajun fries and the dirty rice, and after that, it's a guaranteed food coma.
That dirty rice is dirty, in a good way.
Yeah.
That dirty rice is something special. I know it probably came out of plastic and they just oozed it out, but that dirty rice, man, bro, yeah, man, and that's why when I get those kind of meals, I have to eat in Bojangles because I just can't eat that in the car. I can't eat in the car, man. But yeah, I do the same thing. I get the 3 thighs. If I'm kinky, if I'm just regular, I get 2 thighs and a leg, and then I'll probably get 2. I either do double fries. This is the old me. I used to do this double fries and a substitution. But now, man, I ain't been to Bojangles. I've been, but I haven't been like I used to be.
Yeah, I really listen. I love Bojangles to life and back, to death and back, life, death, whatever you want to call it. I love Bojangles, but I can't. As we get older, unfortunately, we have to use discipline. We talked about vices earlier, so we have to We have to watch those vices. We want to live a long and prosperous life. So while we talk about food and we love food, we do use discipline.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to swing through Bojangles and get that peach cobbler and a 2-piece dinner with the biscuit substitution.
I'm nervous because if it's anything like that cinnamon biscuit, don't take it away from me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm scared to try it. First off, I feel like I'm cheating on the cinnamon biscuit. Secondly, if that thing is good and it does the legendary J.E. lean back, eyes closed, slam the receipt on the dashboard, make me go back into the line to get 2 more.
That's how you know it's real.
I'm going to relapse. And I'm going to really be a big back, like in the physical, not just in.
Saw this on the internet. It said deviled egg hot dogs.
Well, you got to use wisdom.
Yes, and I'm going to say deviled egg hot dogs.
Don't think that you've, don't think you should just overcome it and you can just go to Bojangles and get a 2-piece combo and just go about your life like normal. If it's going to send you back into sin, we don't want that for you, my brother.
I'm not, man. That's why I'm not even going to try it. I'm just going. Yes, I will smash it.
And my first
but right
thought
now
is that's going to tear your stomach inside out. You're going to have Calvin Rogers playing the Rain on My Solo in your stomach.
That's big of you. Thank you. Wow, big of me. Wow.
There's no reason. But then I asked myself,
okay, so
because if you eat a deviled egg,
so we've got another smash or pass before we get out of here.
Your stomach knows so
2?
Yeah, putting it on top, does your stomach
2 smash or passes.
The egg ain't in there.
This one I'm prepared for.
But I can't
I've got a
eat too
clip.
many for the love of my friends and family. I'm going to have a rocket ship coming out my butthole. And I'm 270. So it ain't about not being courageous and stuff. It's just like, we got to have parameters around this stuff.
Pass.
You know what? I forgot. It's got mayonnaise in it. So you're going to automatically pass.
Yeah.
So you don't eat. Wait. No. Wait. Okay. Did deviled eggs have mayonnaise in them?
It resembles mayonnaise. So anything within the mayonnaise community.
Oh, my gosh. So you don't eat deviled eggs at all?
Listen, everything that I don't eat now, I have eaten. And one thing you can't betray is my stomach.
Yeah.
My stomach is probably one of my dearest friends.
Okay.
It's been everywhere with me. It's tried all types of meals. My stomach has been there. I remember when my stomach used to growl when I was a child. And I vowed that day, I said, stomach, when I make it, all the meals you missed, all the struggle meals that you had to do your thing for, man, I promise you, I'll never betray you.
Wow.
And so that mayonnaise, whatever I had, potato salad, and then the devil's egg, man, it tore my stomach up. And my stomach said, I thought you promised to me that you wouldn't betray me. And it was from that day I said, stomach, listen, anything that even resembles that, man, I'm not going to put you through that, man. So I just said, you know what? Deviled eggs on a hot dog. First off, I don't even know, is deviled eggs warm? Is the deviled eggs going to be cold on top of a hot glizzy with the bread? Bro, that screams nasty. But first off, if you're going to do that, that better be a big glizzy. I can't even see the glizzy. It's more deviled egg than it is glizzy, bro.
Well, I think you'd have to play with the ratio, make sure the ratio is right, okay? But I don't know, man. I don't have the allergic react or whatever it is that you have against mayonnaise. I love deviled eggs. They're delicious.
What they taste? Oh yeah, I know what they taste like. Nasty.
I mean, do you eat eggs?
Yeah.
So all it is like, I don't think you put mayonnaise in them. Like you take out
mustard, what they put in there? Mustard?
Yeah, they'll put like maybe some mustard.
I don't like mustard. Mustard is trash too.
My gosh, this guy is the most non-sauce eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need sauce when you saucy.
Okay. I'll start calling you Saucy J.
Whoa, hey, yo, hey, Saucy J.
That's what you said. You said you're saucy.
Man, I just said a bar. I didn't say that. That's who I am.
You said you don't need sauce when you're saucy. I would have to.
Yeah, that was pretty sus. I'm sorry. You're right. Now that you repeated it like that.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I should have just said you don't need sauce when you the sauce.
Or when you got the sauce.
When
any
you got,
of those. Yeah.
When
any
you
of
put
those
when you put the CY at the end, put the Y. Yeah, you're right. My bad. My bad, y'all. I put y'all through that.
Wouldn't refer to myself as saucy. I don't think I would ever do that.
Yeah, that means you switch and stuff. That means you just like, okay, never mind. Yeah, you're right. I take that back, man. Yeah.
Saucy J. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not Saucy J. I'm just I'm just Josh right at this moment.
But yeah, me personally, I would probably try it. I do feel like there's a high probability of an upset stomach following that. But I like deviled eggs. I like them when they're if they're deviled eggs at a cookout, I will get some, and I will get hot dogs. And so they're both going down the same way, like you said. Why not, consolidate the process? Why not put some of the deviled eggs, mash them up a little bit, put it on top of the hot dog? I don't know, man. I think it sounds good. A lot of the ingredients that are in deviled eggs are going to be on your hot dog. Mustard, relish. The deviled eggs have some paprika, but that's probably good on a hot dog too. A little paprika action. I would smash it, J.E. Reluctantly, but I would smash it.
You would? The only thing that deserves to be on my hot dog are these 3 things, or 4 things, depending on in the mood I'm in. Chili, cheese, chopped onions, or baked beans.
That's cheese, chopped onions, baked beans. Okay, that's 4 things. You don't put ketchup on your hot dogs?
Nah, ketchup I got to be in the mood for. I see that I don't like messy condiments, but I like messy toppings. Okay. Like ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. They're just annoying. Their smell, their taste. Like you don't think like mustard doesn't bother you when you eat a hot dog with mustard? That smell don't mess with you?
No. It just smells like mustard. What's the wrong with the smell of mustard?
Man, mustard is yeah. Anyway, man, I'm passing on that, man. First off, I don't do deviled eggs. I got too much respect for the glizzy for that.
Okay.
To have that to be its blanket. But yeah, I'm passing.
All right. Fair enough.
I'll pass it to you. You can have mine.
I'm smashing. Let us know in the comments if you are smashing or passing the Bojangles Peach Cobbler. Let us know if you're smashing or passing on the Deviled Egg Glizzy. Yeah, that's all we've got for today, guys. So if you are still here rocking with us, we certainly appreciate it. Again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button on the video. Hop in the comments. Let us know about the Smash or Pass. Let us know if you got anything from the Kendrick versus Drake breakdown. Let us know if you got anything from the discussion about the Soft Guy era. And yeah, share the video. J.E., you got any last words of wisdom for the people?
Man, know which battle is yours. If it's not your battle, remove yourself. Because there's some battles that only God can win. So let God win those battles, and when God puts you in the battle that you can win it. That's all I got, BD.
All right, and that's it for this episode of the Good Guys Podcast. We will see you guys next week. Until then, I am BD, he is JE, we are the Good Guys, and we are out.
Peace.